Greetings, Mandrake here. This is Mission 2 Foundation on the difficulty Legendary with all skulls on except for Bandana. This is a continuation of completing all Halo Infinite missions on LASO without Bandana. And if you notice, I am skipping cutscenes. I have a full BR, full plasma pistol, and I'm going to start it with an overcharged plasma pistol OTP with a stick, followed with another OTP, and then a headshot. The video you're watching, it was from my Twitch stream. My mic was on, however, I really just mumbled and grumbled throughout. I recorded this commentary for the video to provide more details to the mission run. Also, since making this video, I've significantly improved upon the tactics and methods seen in this mission on a deathless run. Be sure to check out that video. A link for it will be found in the description. Up here in this next area, there's going to be 3 grunts, a jackal major, and a jackal minor. You're going to want to take all 5 of these guys out and eliminate the 5 of them before engaging the brutes that come in reinforcements. There is a trigger line where you'll see the walkway where it ends and enters into this area. When you cross that triggers the Phantom to bring in the reinforcements of the 2 brutes. You want to kill all these guys because you don't want to be engaging these guys and the brutes at the same time. Should be 3 grunts, simple headshot on the jackals, and then just a new combo on the grunts. Nearly fell to my death there. Got back up, and again I almost fell to my death and almost got stuck by an aid. And I am not doing very well, performing well with these grunts here. Got killed by that aid. He nearly killed me with the disruptor, and I gotta retreat into cover because of the Phantom.
Not a good start.
And in doing so, I left one of the grunts alive. So I'm going to have to go contend with one of the grunts before I go after the brutes. And at this point, I need to grapple across the weapons I have here. Back at the time of when the game was, at the time of this game, there was some change that was made, and you can't grapple the weapons like you used to. And so getting the weapons across was very, very tricky. The way that I can do it now, or the way it should be done, is putting where you saw that plasma pistol, like put the sword there and grapple the sword, and the heat wave, grab those 2 and bring them across. And you want to do them from ground level, from the level, and not do it up on top of that little barrier, because it'll grapple better from on the ground. And here's that trigger line, looking at it right there, where the walkway goes onto that plaza area. Right there, just across the trigger line. I'm going to get out here. These brutes want to throw nades. You know, got catch going, so the grunt wants to throw a nade. I move over here to this barrier to kind of give me some cover. I'm going to take on this brute. This is kind of a bit of an oddity. He's got damage. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 melees. He had no shield and had damage. His helmet was off, and it still took 5. It's usually like 2 or 3 melees once you get they take the most damage. That was an oddity. 1, 2. So that one just took 2. Like he had about the same amount of damage. Now with these rockets, what I usually recommend, but I mean it's all up to you, is I want to know how much I have, and so I can at least come up with what a minimum. So I pick up a rocket launcher, reload it. If it reloads, then I have at least a minimum of 2 rockets. If you pick it up and it doesn't reload, you got 1 or 2, maybe 3 situations. One being if you hear no reload, you only have one round, and because of famine, that's typically and most likely the case. The other uncommon cases would be you might have 2 rounds. It's uncommon but possible, and then even more unlikely but possible would be you have 2 rounds and 1 spare, so you could have at least 2 and 1. What I end up here with is one of them reloaded, the other one didn't. And so you pick up, once you've reloaded both separately, and you don't let them touch, you pick up the one that doesn't reload, you pick up the one that was reloaded, and then you do a reload of that. And then if you hear it reload, then you know the one you had just had 1 round, and now you've picked up 2 or maybe 3 rounds. So I think at minimum, the minimum I have 2 rounds plus 1, so I could have a minimum of 3 rounds. I think I ended up with either 4 or 5 total on this. So I had like maybe the uncommon of I had a rocket launcher with a 2-in-1 that had a total of 3 rounds. Because later on I'll pick up another rocket launcher, actually 2 more, and there's like 2 of them I picked up, and that was enough to make it full.
Much further.
I think I had like either 4 or 5 rounds.
Well, I'm gonna have to get these.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Anyway.
How come you're still where I dropped you off?
So here I'm getting set up for the very difficult run against these 4 grunts up ahead. Want to noob combo the 4 of them, and then get back here into cover without taking damage, so you can get a checkpoint.
And misses
with
this
that,
one.
and that is just an awful thing. Missing with the first. You really kind of need to do this without a single miss. You want to have the best outcome. Can't miss with the plasma pistol, can't miss with the headshot, because these brutes are going to come down and they're going to gauge you right away. And you can easily get killed, take damage.
Well,
Each
I know
ring
I've
is
been
different.
tagged,
I see an entry point in the wall ahead.
Get in there.
So
I'm not
next
gonna
step is to
check
get the rocket launcher, and I'm going to go to the top of this pillar.
Right.
Off in the distance is a couple
Come on,
grunts,
game.
and they are very annoying
Grapple the weapon.
with their disruptor.
grab the ground.
And again, I'm mumbling and grumbling about
Got a
how
lot
the
of
grapple
meat.
is
Pick it
not
up on the
grappling the
ground.
weapon and grapples the ground.
To grab a hold of. Just ignoring.
How come you're still where I dropped you off?
So the trick here, and what I try to achieve, is making use of boom and cowbell. Is you want to get the 2 grunts near each other, whether it's to the left side or the right side, and I kind of bait them. I try and peek, kind of do a little peekaboo, and eventually they'll kind of move over together, and then I fire off to the left of them. See where the 2 are to the right, and they move to the left. They'll move fast enough to where they won't be able to outrun the rocket. The rocket will hear it. You don't want it to hit too close to them. You want it to be at least just far enough away so that cowbell will just send them flying and will just blast them.
I know I have at least 2
Blast them off
shots.
the wall. So really just want to spin 1 rocket.
Any more than that.
And so I got the outcome I was looking for. So the next step here is go after the jetpack brute and a
Right.
brute major.
All the grunts are gone.
And I've got a sword and a heat wave, and I'm going to be using the heat wave mostly on. I'm not sure what my plan was. I think it was to shoot them a few times with or a couple times with the heat wave, and then stick them with the nade. The thing with the nades are they're very inconsistent. Can't count on getting a kill with a single nade on these guys. Are really kind of any enemy. He doesn't have a shield. However, I pick up a couple nades there, and reload, and try and get him again. Kind of lucky I didn't get killed, and thanks for the ammo. Now down to this brute major. He's got a rocket launcher, and I want him to switch to the mangler. I need to get up close to him, so with the heat wave, try and get a few shots and take the shield out. And then just melee him. Wait, and there's the melee, there's the kill.
Alright.
And I've got a shield, and I should be getting checkpoint. So, it's now time to gather up the stockpile and move the stockpile. The heat wave comes in handy, really mainly just for getting close quarters with the brutes, but it's really not necessary to have to move and carry along. But I like to be prepared for any kind of situation coming up. But yeah, plasma pistol definitely. Rockets, like I said, rockets and sword is imperative for the Tremonius fight. So I'm going to be carrying it from the very beginning of this mission to the very end of the mission. I kind of gather up and move the stockpile of weapons. And as I had mentioned in the prior video, in the prior mission, first mission, Mission Gabraken, is without bandana, you have famine, and you have to be very, very conservative, or you have to be you have to really plan well with the ammo that you have. Now here's a interesting, here's the method that I use for coming up here. You're going to have a jackal and 2 grunts step out. They don't know you're there, so their shields are down. So the goal here is to try and kill as many of these grunts as I can up close. I just happened to get lucky and get that distant one, and then the 2 close ones. The jackal is an easy shot. He's not hard at all. But I took out those grunts without having to use the plasma pistol. Now, up ahead, there's going to be plenty of plasma pistol. Not really a big deal. With this jackal, again, I don't want to bother shooting him, so I'm just going to melee him. There is a very difficult fight coming up ahead, but it worked out the way it worked out as it will turn out. One of the frustrating things with this is when I was doing the stream dropped and died out, and I didn't notice it for several minutes, so I had to start this over from beginning. So this second run, it didn't turn out as well as the first run. The first run was just going great. I was surprised at how well it went. But really, one of the better things that happened was what you just saw just a few moments ago. I killed 3 grunts with a couple shots and took them out easy, and then the jackal was no problem. So I want to kill this jackal and have him drop his weapon, and man, he went flying. But, oh yeah, like I'm saying, there's that plasma pistol he left behind. I'm definitely going to want that. There will be a rack up ahead that has a pulse carbine, and I think like a needler. I don't recall if it has a plasma pistol or not. And I also don't recall if there's a rack that has a plasma pistol in this section or not. So I'm gonna go back and grab my stockpile and move it up, and I'll start talking about the fight up ahead, with the situation that it has laid out, with the way the bridges, the broken platforms, and so on and so on. There's going to be a couple brute majors on one of these, like this little round bridge section that's up ahead. And then in a very similar bridge section, further ahead is a couple grunts, again with disruptors, and they're so distant I'm not going to be able to get them with any kind of plasma weapon, and I don't want to use the BR on them from this far away. They become a problem, and so my solution to that has been a rocket launcher, or if it works out, if they don't see you, if you're not detected, well then you can just headshot them. But I think they're almost so far away you can't tell if they have the shield or not. So I go ahead and I just take the rocket launcher and I use it, and it turns out that it will work out. But the thing is you want to sneak up, and you don't want to be detected. You don't want any enemies to know you're here, so you want to hop up here, get up on this upper platform up here, this broken piece, and look up ahead for these grunts. As you're about to see, there's the 2 grunts. They probably don't have their shields up, and there it goes. It turns out that I did shoot them instead of using the rocket launcher. Then I decided to use the rocket launcher on these brutes, and it does nothing for them. 2 melees on the brute, on the jackal miner. Got a shield. I can get checkpoints.
Do anything? They didn't even take his shield out.
There's 2 brute majors, and I think a 3rd one in the portal room, the teleporter. There's a room to the left, and at the end of it is a couple of these guarding the portal.
Look at the time! It's murder o'clock! Come on, Dark.
Wow. Takes a lot of melees.
Now where's the
Oh, full rocket launcher. Alright, so you're full. Yeah, my rocket launcher is full. And I have a spare one with, I don't know how many shots. It could have one, it could have two.
Humans, close.
It's a spare, and I find that I don't want to be taking a second rocket launcher because beyond this fight, and what I mean by the fight is this this outdoor area, and then you have like the indoor room. This portal room we charge. I'll use the rocket launcher on these elites, or I think I at least take it along to use it on them. But beyond here, beyond this fight with the elites, I'll take a full rocket launcher, and I won't use a rocket launcher beyond this point until I get to the Tremonius fight. It's solely for that. And I'm going to speed up the boring part of just moving the stockpile, organizing the stockpile. I set things off to the side there because of the enemies. These grunts like to throw nades, so I want to make sure that they are not in a place where they're going to take a nade and then I lose the weapon because it's going to blow off the platform, fall into the endless abyss, never to be seen again. And I think I'm getting prepared and getting ready to take on the remaining grunts, and I think there's still one more brute to fight. Need a plan for him. I'm going to move these weapons along. There'll be a Jackal Major if I haven't taken him out already. There's going to be a couple grunts, and then there's that brute. I need to get through him. And once they're down, then you got the two elites at the end of the room. Then I need to have a plan for.
Human, I knew it.
This is a very difficult mission because you're stuck with the very basic grapple. There's no cooldown, so you have to wait a while for it to recharge. You have some basic weapons, but you have to deal with just some basic enemies. Some enemies you're going to be facing throughout this whole thing. Right? You just get some situations with you're going to have to fight two of these elites. You want to take all these other little guys out just to get the elites by themselves. And it can be a difficult, complicated fight with two elites working together, getting spread out, trying to get your flank and stuff like that, and they, they'll take you out easily. Yeah, there's the other. I'll get a plasma coil. I don't think it really did much good. I'm trying to use the mangler from distance. It's worthless from distance. Okay. I think I'm gonna go get the heat wave or the hard light oil. Get a kill with that. But you can also take damage from it. You could be on the other side of the room. That thing can go off and it'll get you.
Oh, come on, get me around the corner.
Joke's on you, Spartan. Take this one.
Be ready! He will move soon!
Okay, brute. Now it's down to the brute.
Return to me!
Eats a nade. Drops a nade. I don't think it damaged me. Alright, so at this point, I think I probably had a death and I got a checkpoint. And so I'm going to gather up weapons again. I think I ended up getting a checkpoint or something. I don't know if that was the one place I was getting it. Didn't reload, so... So with the elites, I'm gonna take... I think I take the sword and a plasma pistol. See what I'm doing here. Or it's the plasma pistol and the rocket launcher. Remember? Full people. Oh, now full. Okay, I've got a plasma pistol. And I think I got the swords. And I'm going to carry a hard light coil. These things are inconsistent, at least when it comes to the elites, or I guess with whatever enemies. But there's times where a single one of these heat wave, I keep saying heat wave, a hard light coil will kill an elite. And there's times, whether it's a direct hit or at their feet or whatever it is, and then there's other times it's just a direct hit and they just eat it, and it seems like it does nothing. So
Come out and fight.
we're gonna see what happens here. And of course, so OPP, stick them, and that kills him because he also dropped a nade. And now I'm just one-on-one, so I take the sword out. 1, 2, he's down. Now this other elite, he blew up in a way that his sword went up the lift. So I spent a little time running around looking for his sword and couldn't find it. And my guess was it was at the top of the lift, so I just went ahead and just gathered up the weapons, the stockpile that I was going to take, and moved it along. So what I'm going to be taking is rocket launcher sword, of course, pulse carbine, and a full pulse carbine and a full plasma pistol. I can't recall, but I might be taking a second plasma pistol. If I have one that's used or whatever, it's like a second one, I'll take one, because I don't think the areas upcoming has many, or if it even has. I think it has one, but it's like much later in the room. There's the very next fight is a very large room. Seems like I'm carrying along the heat wave, but I don't recall how far I take it with me on the mission. Because I also realize the next fight that comes up, it's a big room. There's 4 elites, and when I get a kill on them, they're going to drop heat waves. So I'm really only using them for pretty much close quarters with the brutes anyway. It's like, I think it's almost the same. It's like 3 shots on a grunt to take his shield out, and so it's just kind of it. Seemed like it was special in any way. So far, that's been 3 elites. Picked up the sword. It's well combined. It's in good shape. I think, like I said, I found the sword at the top. I think I pick up the whole thing, which means that this sword, and there's the sword. Pick it up. So the sword I have is mostly full. It's probably 80-something%, close to 90-something%. It's in good shape. Now I'm going to move this stockpile along to the very difficult, hair-pulling, frustrating part, which is trying to carry and juggle these weapons across all these broken pieces. And you'll see why I have it sped up, because who wants to sit through 20-30 minutes of moving these weapons along? And man, I tell you, with the grapple, they made a change, and the grapple would rather grapple the ground rather than the weapon. When trying to move these things, it just becomes infuriating. That it just, right there, I have direct line to grapple it, and it grapples the ground. There it goes again. So there was many times that a weapon would roll off of one of these platforms. Sometimes I'd slip and fall. And so I spent a lot of time getting the process down and getting these moved across. And it became kind of a slow play at times. The rocket launcher is good to move. You can easily grab that. The sword is one of the hardest ones to move because there's almost nothing to... It has, like, no thickness to it, so you just can't... It's really hard to grab. So I think eventually I just grabbed and just tried to juggle it across as far as I could, or at least carry it instead of trying to grapple it. So I get all these across. And I'll talk more about this upcoming fight once I get everything in place. And as it turns out, when I get everything inside here, I also kind of realize I don't want to be using that BR so much, so I want to try and use something else. There are no commandos, but they're maulers, the manglers. So I realize I got to go back for a mangler. So I get my weapons all set up down here, and I'm gonna have to go back for a mangler. There, as I say, I realize it. So fast forward. I'm gonna go get a mangler. Move it along.
Chief, you okay down there? I thought you wanted to find a way into the main structure.
Alright, so here's the trick that I'm going to try and do is you get the BR out. I'm not detected, the door will open. You have to be very, very sneaky.
Find the elites.
Is I want to be able to look and identify where the elites are. It's random, so if this game is restarted and you go and try and do this again, your elites can be in different places. So there's one of them. You're usually going to have two, if not three, at the exit. This one happens to be along one of the wings. There is one walking back and forth that I'll be able to take him out. But there's two of them back there. You just can't see the second one. But there's 4 elites total for this playthrough for me. There's one here in the foreground. Look at near the bottom of my screen, bottom center of my screen. There's one right there. He's going to start moving. And I will explain how this works out. You shoot the one closest. The ones that are more distant won't even hear or know the shot, and plus the enemies aren't loud enough for those in the back to hear to know that there's an enemy, as in myself. So I pick him out, take that one, and then that one I can see. He doesn't even see or know. Took out 3 elites. There's one remaining, and now the rest of the fight is still difficult. It is hard, and I'll go through and explain that how as it goes. But one of the reasons why it's hard, as you say, I'm making it hard on myself, is I'm trying not to use much BR. So I'm going to try and noob combo these grunts with the mangler, and it doesn't go that well. Try and shoot and get the headshot from here, just can't get the headshot. Got a bit of an arc to it. You have to get closer to get that shot. And I was just getting upset and just charged after them. I'm getting aggressive, and you can easily get killed because you're just they'll get overwhelmed because there's so many grunts. They are flanking you off of the right wing. They're flanking you on the left wing. On the right, there's a grunt and a jackal. On the left side, there's a grunt and a jackal, and they just sit back and they're just peppering you. When you're not looking, when you're focused on another enemy, one of their buddies, well, then he steps out and starts shooting you.
Linked on the right and the left.
I mean, before you know it, you're dead. I mean, the disruptor just eats through your shield and then just takes out your health, and you just get melted down.
There's like 2 grunts there. Grunt to the right there. Grunt to the left.
So I'll get to the point to where I'll have to go back for the BR because I'm going to want to shoot these grunts that are kind of distant.
Probably going to have.
I'll use the pulse carbine, drop their shield, get the headshot, and then I'll get a better foothold on getting inside this room. There's two grunts, I think, in the center portion straight ahead. One grunt to the left. I'm going to go ahead and take him because he's poked his head out. I want to work on the one on my right, but then the one in the middle will start shooting. And when the one in the middle gets... Yeah, they take out that jackal. When the one in the middle starts to get the cover, then the one on the right steps out, shoot me. Then the one on the right will get in the cover, then the one in the middle will start shooting. It's just silly. It's just the it's the way they work. You got to be able to work it out. Try and get in cover from the one in the middle. Take him out on the wing. Now I can focus on this one here. Now I'm in good shape. I think there's a jackal on the left. I think you get to a point where a lot of these are killed and they start to fall back. I've got this one grunt. I'm gonna have to push him so I can melee him for a sword or a shield. Jackal Major with the Mangler shooting me from across the map. It's silly, but he hit me. What had happened is the stream had dropped, and I had to. I ended up just resuming and restarting, just starting the stream back up. But what I had done is since I didn't realize the stream had dropped, I continued on, and I killed just that one grunt, and I think in doing so I got my shield back. So this is just the continuation of the stream. I don't know. It was just this particular day, this particular mission was the only time I had problems with the with Twitch dropping the stream, and it did it. This was like the third time it did it, but it turned out to be the last time. I'm gonna go back for my other weapons and continue moving this stockpile. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. What did you do, 343? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just, so frustrating. I use the grapple a lot, especially the grapple weapons. Whatever they did really affected that. I'll notice times I will have a direct line. I'll have a reticle directly on the weapon, and I'll watch. I can watch it in slow motion. The grapple goes straight towards the weapon, but within a foot or two of the weapon, the grapple will change its direction down or up to avoid hitting the weapon.
Kind of risky not to take sword,
and that's just frustrating. So I guess I'm weighing my options with how to take out this elite. Yeah, I got options. Not going to use the rocket launcher. Some options could be to overcharge plasma pistol, stick them, OPP, and then headshot. Another could be OPP, stick them, and then hit them with the sword, or
Chief,
one or
you
two
okay down there?
OPPs and
I
then
thought you
stab
wanted to
them.
find a way into the main structure.
So there's options how to handle this elite.
there should be enough
Not a whole
sword
lot of taking him
around
out
here,
from
yeah,
distance.
like
I
right
haven't
here.
I haven't researched to see
Yeah,
how
so I've got a
many
full sword now. I can just go toward
pulse
this guy
carbine
and take
volleys
his
it'll
shield
take
down
to
so
remove his shield, because if he can do that, then you can get a headshot off him. But he's got that heat wave. He likes to throw nades, and so you just can't.
two other swords.
It's difficult
one
to just
over
kind of
to the
sit
left
back
and one right
from
down the
distance,
middle.
and he hops around and moves a lot. So it's
Gonna be a jackal.
becomes
I
difficult
don't
to
know
try
if
and get
There's gonna
shots
be,
on him
I
with
think it's
the
probably gonna be two jackals.
pulse
One
carbine
there on the
from
left. I don't know
distance.
what happened to him. He's probably hanging around.
It's something to try. There's still a couple grunts up. I mean, not grunts. There's still a couple jackals up here.
one, there's two, and I think there's a third one. Oh, there's another one?
Yep. They're being shot by a third one.
I got him. Alright, so I don't need the... I'll go with plasma pistol, nade, plasma pistol. I'm a little leery on sticking them with the nade. If it kills them, I don't have a shield, right? I don't have a shield.
Yeah, that's another
Risky.
quandary is maybe getting the kill shot with the nade, but if I've taken damage, no, that's not good. I'm going to need to get some checkpoints, so I'm going to need a shield, so it worked out that I'm just going to stab him. I'll try some OPP and a nade, and then stab him.
Farewell.
See how that works out.
Don't stick on it.
He drops a nade,
Okay, that worked. Man, that made me
and
nervous.
it happened to work out,
Both
but
nades
if you
falling
remember
at
the
his-
previous
one of them sticking on
fight,
the other one at his feet.
same situation. He goes to throw a nade, he gets the OPP, he staggers, he drops his nade while I stick him, and it killed the last one, but this time it just damaged him. So now I've got a full sword because there's plenty of swords laying around. Plenty of heat waves that I'm not going to be carrying along.
Because I'm going to have to go. I want to skip that.
Well, if I recall, the next area here is to collect the weapon. Little AI girl. And so what I want to take with me is full plasma pistol, full pulse carbine, the full rocket launcher, full sword. Those are the 4 items I'm taking. And in doing so, there's an elevator that this goes on, and so it's going to be tricky to juggle these. It's a long way. You got to carry these things, juggle these things a long way. And I'll cover that once we get to the elevator. So let's get these weapons going. Let's get these things moving. So here's a note that's important to know. You want to juggle all of these. If you plan to do so, you plan to follow along like this. I'm not saying that you have to do it this way. This is what I chose to do. This is what works for me. Keep in mind that those pillars will push the rockets off if the rockets are moving when it lands and makes contact. Those pillars will push them off. So the thing is to move all the weapons together, because I did a run before where I carried and just juggled a couple of them all the way to the end and came back for the other 2, and for whatever reason, whatever the game did, they despawned. The game just got rid of them. So the point is to take all of these or they're going to despawn. The other thing, and this is a very tricky part, maybe others may not have a problem with this, I had some kind of difficulty with it. You'll see there's an outer ring and an inner ring. The outer ring is the trigger for starting the cutscene that puts you on the elevator to collect the weapon and all that kind of stuff. So if you trigger it and you haven't juggled these weapons on, then you're stuck. There's no reverting back to checkpoint. There's no coming back to here. I found there's times when I tried to juggle and throw these on, I got too close to the trigger line that it triggered me and put me on, and there's no stopping it. So I had to actually kind of start the mission over.
I'm glad that went.
But it worked out this time. First try, I got all the weapons on there, and it worked out. The other part is you have to get the weapons beyond that second inner ring, because that's the part that you end up going up on. That's the part of the elevator. So I've learned the hard way to be able to pass that information on. So the fight coming up is just a couple grunts and I think a skirmisher or two. And then you get back to some more grunts. And I think another skirmisher or something. And then there'll be a jackal sniper with a stalker rifle. Oh wow, he activated his shield where I could finish him off. These guys will overwhelm you. You usually want to do one at a time because these grunts will just pepper you with that disruptor and you won't stand a chance. Hey, shooting. I guess I was just being aggressive and it just happened to work out. Go all Steven Seagal on them. Yeah, instead of using the BR, I'm gonna give them a taste of their own medicine.
These are the banished.
Affirmative.
They smell even worse than I imagined.
You can smell them.
Well, an array of sensors in your armor can, and I analyze the input. You smell fine, by the way.
So a grunt or two dropped a plasma pistol, so I got plenty of plasma pistol, it's full. And I have a second one for backup ammo. Gonna move up the stockpile, move it to a safe place where no nades are gonna blast it away and blast them off the edge into the endless abyss. And up there is the skull, and being this account already has all the skulls, I'm not gonna be getting the skulls. Save that BR ammo. There's gonna be a couple jackals. They killed him. Sometimes where it doesn't. Want some more disruptor? Want some disruptor? Alright, jackal sniper with the stalker at the top of the ramp. I already got my shield, so I figure I'm just going to move my stockpile in and then weigh my options with how to get them. I want to just shoot them or punch them. So the stockpile, again, rocket sword, need plasma pistol, pulse carbine. I could probably grapple. Interesting, grappled him, and he still. Oh, that's right. It's the basic grapple. There's no stun on this grapple yet. I find the stalker rifle could come in real handy with grunts that are distant and a little difficult to get to because they're so far away. You're not going to be able to noob combo them, and you know sometimes pulse carbine may not work from some distance. So I'm going to want to take this stalker rifle with me
He'll pair you with another AI. Maybe even another Cortana.
By the way, the ammo that's in it, it's somewhere around the upper 20s, so it's like a 26 or 27%.
Yeah, there's not going to be any.
Is how much is in it, which really isn't much. I don't know how many, I don't recall how many shots it is or how much each shot percentage-wise it uses. Yeah, come on, game. Grapple. No enemies in this little ramp room. Okay, so this room, you can skip this fight, and I choose to skip the fight. Not that this fight is any kind of showstopper in any way. You can just grapple across, and so the choice is, and what you're faced with, and I've been through many scenarios, and the one that was chosen for this is, since I have to take the rocket launcher and the sword, those are the two that I'm really going to be either taking across or coming back for. I also have to have the BR and the plasma pistol. Those are the 4 weapons, and why I mention these 4 weapons is, you go across this, you get to the other end, and you go through a hallway, and you'll come across a mule, and he carries a plasma pistol and drops a pistol and an AR. So what you can do is drop 2 of the weapons that you're carrying in exchange for the pistol AR, come back to here, and then take the sword and the rocket launcher, and that way you have your 4 items. Those are really the 4 things I need. But as it turns out, I want that stalker rifle. So I figured out a way to get the stalker rifle across as well. So instead of carrying the plasma pistol, I will make a, if you want to call it a second trip or it's a third trip, whichever it is. Let me get this guy. He's got a plasma pistol. I will just take his plasma pistol. At least that would be the next option to do. Now, it's not reflective in this run, in this mission, but I had it worked out where by doing that, I can actually take, instead of carrying or taking the 4th weapon as being the plasma pistol, I can take the stalker rifle and then refill it at that plasma ammo dispenser on the way. So I dropped, what did I drop there? The BR and the sword. So I'm going back for the rocket launcher, and I guess the rocket launcher and the plasma pistol. It turns out that something despawned when I get back here.
Man,
I ended up a little confused.
The BR.
Yeah, and then I realized I didn't have the BR with me, or I didn't reload the BR or refill the BR on the way. So I'll have to take a trip back to get the BR. So here's the pulse carbine. There's the rocket launcher. Where's the plasma pistol? Thank you, game. Way to go. So I end up taking the pulse carbine, which is full. Yeah, I gotta take the rocket launcher. So the trick here is once you get about eye level, then grapple, as in eye level with the deck, and then that's when you can grapple. The thing you want to do here is grapple, and you want to go for height, more pull of height more than distance, because you're gonna have plenty of distance. Distance ain't gonna be a problem. It's you just want to have enough height so that you have time for your grapple to recharge. Now going back across, you want to go for distance because you can do it with one single grapple and go for distance and go across. Coming back the other way, you know, coming this way, you got to do 2 grapples.
This sucks. Oh, BR.
So I got the BR. And I think I need to get that plasma pistol. Maybe I just have to live with that plasma pistol with the... It's like 30-something percent. It's somewhere around a 36, 37% plasma pistol.
I have no idea.
And I forget I could have just brought it along and refilled it as well. So 1 single grapple for distance. Go for the pull of distance and you'll get across. And then going this way, you want to go for height and pull yourself up high. Get it to recharge. Get about eye level with the deck, and then grapple. So, coming up beyond this point is there's going to be kind of an arena looking room, and there'll be a jackal, I'm sorry, not jackal, a brute sniper. He's got a skewer, and that will be an item we're going to take to the Tremonius fight as well. Now the one he drops, for some reason it's basically, well, not a full, but a 1-3. It'll be 1 in the chamber, 3 reserve. Which in a way is like a half full.
Reload. My goodness, what is with this?
Yeah, there's something weird with the game. Is I'm here pushing reload and it's not reloading.
What's wrong?
And it had a
This
kind of a
gravity
delayed
lift should be
reload.
powered up. We need to find a way to bring it back online.
So I'm gonna go that skewer that's placed and laying down. It's just a 1 and 1. It just says 1 in the chamber, 1 in reserve, and then the one that he drops is a 1 and 3. So I have a
We are not going anywhere
1
until
and
this gravity lift is
5.
powered up.
So I guess 1 chamber, 5 in reserve.
This object,
Skewer.
it's part of the ring's life force. It's called a power seed.
You can use, you know, like 2 or 3 shots on Tremonius with it. It's hard to get shots on him because he moves around so much. He's got the Hydra, and he jetpacks a lot. It's hard to shoot him with the skewer, but it does pretty good damage. So the next fight is the pretty much the last room. It's the elevator room. So we got the this is the shield module. I'm gonna get this grunt. So if I'm damaged and need a shield, I can get my shield off of him. I think he comes through with his shield on anyway. I don't think there's a chance where his shield is not activated.
Tremonius.
Okay, so another interesting note about this next fight, and of course it comes into play later, but I might as well mention it now. I'm going to be trying to do some of my fight from in here until I can get a foothold and get into the room, into that large area. The problem that comes into play is if you make your way too close, or at least to the elevator room itself, like where the room with the elevator, if you get to there, this door I'm looking at will lock, and you won't be able to come back in here and get your weapons. Now I'm going to be looking at these fronts and trying to see which ones I can pick off.
Come on.
And I couldn't pick off the others. There's like the shots missed, so I only get one of them. So it's going to be a little harder to try and get a foothold into the room and try and get established place to fight from. So again, it's one of these things. I find once I get involved in the fight, I forget about the weapons in this room, and I can easily forget them, and I think it can easily be forgotten. This is where the stalker comes in handy. I could use the stalker and shoot these guys.
We're here. That
This is an
elevator
ideal
should take
place
us to the
for the
surface.
stalker. I just find where I just have to rush in here, and I'm going to juggle these two weapons because I can use them both. There's some jackals, jackal miners, and they have they drop plasma pistols, so there'll be plasma pistols in here. I think the rack that has a plasma pistol is in the elevator room, so I don't want to go there yet. I gotta get that other sniper.
What happened with that?
And I would like to work my way over to get the stalker, but I didn't even bother with getting the
He's
stalker.
right in front of me, an overcharged plasma pistol.
I ended up
and
doing this the hard
even
way.
just like covered up and ducked.
Yeah, I had an incident, and you know, I had a death, and I can't recall what the situation was, but I think it was like I was like 3 feet from a grunt, overcharged plasma pistol, and it really looked like it hit him. I mean, it's not like I'd missed, and it did nothing to him. It didn't take his shield out, and it was just a very bizarre thing. And I think he even like turned his back and like covered up his eyes in fear, and it hits him, and it just did nothing. It was the strangest thing, just like right there. But that actually took his shield out. He just kind of turned and covered up his eyes. May have been something I could have just left in the game so it could have been seen, but I ended up taking it out. I'm getting shot up. Lots of nades. Disruptor. Now this room has kinetic ammo dispensers, so I can use all the BR I want. Or put it this way, you all can use all the BR you want once you get to here. Because there's one on the left side. I think there's one on the right side, but there's 2 of them in the elevator room. That's weird. Punched him 3 times. So the 4th punch. So as you can see there, if you have an undamaged
times, I didn't get a
grunt,
shield charge, but
it
after
is
the
4
4th punch,
melees. You
then I
take
get a
his
shield
shield
charge.
out.
What's up
It's
with
usually
that?
2. Yeah. So I'm mentioning here, I had meleeed that grunt 3 times, and on the 4th one, I got a shield recharge. And not that I recall having any kind of disruptor fire affecting my shield from charging, which would probably be an explanation, or at least taking damage from something else. But my location there, nothing else is shooting me or has eyes on me, so it was weird. Punched him 3 times, and the 4th one I got a shield recharge. If it's a well-known note, but I'll mention it anyway. If you punch a jackal on his shield, you will not get credit for a shield recharge. And there's times you can actually punch
Go back and get my stuff.
the jackal on his shield, and it'll kill him.
Better all be here.
Downside is, you do that, and if you need a shield, you ain't going to get a shield recharge from it.
Okay. 3 things are here. That's right.
The 3 very important things I need, really it's just the 2. I need the sword and the rocket launcher. The skewer is one of those where it's like, hey, that'd be nice to have, it'd be good to use. I don't recall using it much. But a lot of effort to make sure that I got it here.
Plasma pistol, plasma pistol. Any more plasma
And I can't
pistol?
say, yeah, I need the plasma pistol
Alright,
still
now
because
I'm
there's, I still
good.
have to do the elevator room. I gotta get that cleared.
I am good.
You little sneaky sneaky. Sidestep that nade. I think with this this iteration of the game, I think the grunts throw the grenades faster. I think they're going with the 4-seam rather than
Other side.
past games a 2-seam.
They gonna fall back?
Using that 4-seam grip instead of a 2-seam grip.
I saw one grunt that looked like a second.
There's a few grunts here. I think about 4 of them.
Oh shit, 3.
I think it's just one grunt left.
Come out!
You'll know when it's the last one is you'll get the dialogue from the weapon. She'll start talking to you. Make sure you get yourself a
You need to
shield.
call down the elevator.
Look for a control terminal.
Alright.
So now this part is just move the weapons up and place everything that needs to be placed where I need to place it and get it all set up for the Tremonius fight that's going to last a while. I'm going to die many times. A very difficult fight. There's times it's just ridiculous how accurate you get the lock on with. He gets the lock on with the Hydra. And if you get close to him, he takes out the shotgun. And it seems like he just shoots you once with the shotgun. That's all it takes. Once. He gets, maybe you survive one, and he'll get you with a second one. And he's lethal with his jetpack ground pound. I use the pulse carbine a little bit. I don't think I use it a whole lot. I use it at the start because I can take his shield out with it. This is a difficult fight. I mean, the first thing to do is to get rid of the Jackal Majors, and it's just not that easy. I don't want to carry the BR for that. You'll find that I'm placing hard light coil, and I'm looking for the second one, and there's actually 3 of them out here, but there's 2 of them side by side, and they blew up earlier, and I didn't catch it and notice it. But there is and I knew there was a hard light coil underneath, and so I was just grabbing that second one. I didn't want to. I kept looking and looking, hoping to find one. So I put them here at the exit of the elevator, or say at the foot of the elevator, and so I can shoot it with pulse carbine as the jackals step off, and sometimes it kills them, sometimes it doesn't, but it's a better option than trying to carry the BR just for them, shooting them, and then getting rid of the BR or losing the BR in the fight.
What are
And
these
I can't
things?
afford that. So I just kick it aside to where it's not going to be
Forerunner
part of the
storage
action.
vessels. Silexes.
How do you know this?
I was stuck in that room for 6 months.
I'll get
surrounded by them.
the seed
Let's just say they talk a lot.
and get this fight going. Now, I don't remember how many times. I'll probably have it noted how many checkpoints, or I mean how many times I died trying to get this done. Took several. I left kind of random, I want to say random, I left some deaths in play, so you can kind of see just some of the kind of either the nonsense or at least some of the kind of close, some of the options, like I've chose to do this or did an option to do that, try this or try that, so you can kind of see some different options, different techniques or different methods to try and do so, or at least try and do things. One of the things I was trying to do is you can grapple these plasma nades, so I was trying to grapple some extra plasma nades and put them back here in my little stockpile area, because the plasma nades and the spike nades are good for taking out his shield, and so I wanted to have some extra ones. So the fight is on. I want to avoid getting ground pounded. I want to take out these jackals by shooting the hard light coils. And what's left I'm gonna melee so I can get a shield. He has 3 opening animations, or 3 scripted animations to start that. That's the worst one that you saw. It's kind of this aerial jetpack ground pound. You want to avoid that because he can kill you with that at the very beginning. Here, my plan was to work off the bottom of this ramp, but it turns out trying to set up shop down there bottom of the ramp is not good because he'll kill you with the Hydra.
When he goes airborne, there's really not much I can do.
The other animation that he does is kind of a fadeaway with the jetpack. It's kind of a cautious retreat. And then the third one is he kind of drifts to his left. He kind of jetpacks and drifts to the left, or what would be your left. And so in other words, the first one, the ground pound, is the aggressive one. The other two is just kind of being cautious and getting a better look at things. So the plan here is to take out the 2 jackals. Oh, and that's just silly. That is just silly. I'll explain that one later. You want to take out the jackals first because you don't want to engage the jackals and Tremonius at the same time. It's futile. So he can easily kill you with the Hydra. If you have a full shield, undamaged, 3 Hydra shots will kill you, as in 3 hits with the Hydra will kill you. And then if you're up close, 3 shots with a shotgun will kill you. He can kill you with a couple nades. He's really good with the nades. They kind of bounce around. It seems like they follow you. So you kind of want to... There's different ways of playing this. If you want to play distant, he's just going to... There you go. He's just going to get killed with the nade. He's going to kill you with the Hydra. And with the Hydra, it seems like he has this tracking, and just automatically has tracking, and can just always know where you are, and fires it anticipating where you are, and you're going to get killed. So it's hard to want to try and do a fight from distance because it's hard to take a shield out from distance, and if you want to get up close, it's hard to get any kind of damage on him up close. And right there at that instant was that hard light barrel exploded from distance and kills me. So the thing you want to do is take out his shield, and my plan was just to take the shield out. Once the shield is down, is to take the sword and just stab him until he dies. And that in itself seemed kind of inconsistent, because with the different times I tried, I'd get the shield down and stab him, I'd run out of sword, and other times, there was a couple other times where I got his sword down, I got his shield down, and then I stabbed him like maybe 5 or 6 times, and it was enough to kill him. So it was inconsistent. I don't want to chase him because he'll just shoot with the shotgun or the Hydra. And there goes the game again. Can't grapple the weapon. And it just about cost me. And there, I happened to fire the rockets a little too close to him and they got killed.
Come on.
Avoid the ground pound. Take out the jackals. And then turn to this area here and try and take the shield out and then stab him. I just took 2 shots with a shotgun. I can't take any more. I got my shield back though. Took another shotgun.
This will not kill me.
So 1 nade. Second nade, so his shield is down. I'm looking for the rocket launcher.
Where's the rocket?
And I took a punch. Gotta get away. I got my shield. Rockets are here on the left. I ended up going with the sword and got the kill. Now, as far as an alternative method of getting the kill on him,
Not friendly. By the looks of him, he was some sort of
it'll
leader.
be a similar
They
method
called
such
him
as at least get the
Tremonius.
shield out, and then you want to use a disruptor. You fire the disruptor on him enough, and it helps reduce his ability to want to shoot back. Now, it's not a foolproof
man, that is
way
so
of keeping him from shooting like the Hydra or the shotgun or something like that, but it is an improvement. It keeps you alive better. And as far as the location to fight from, it would be from the other location, kind of near where I put the BR down. I'm kind of looking at it right now in this area just to the left is a good area to fight from. Not here where the ammo dispenser, where the BR is, but that other little area, kind of where that plasma coil was.
Irrelevant.
So going forward, going into the next mission, I want to take the BR and the Stalker Rifle. Stalker Rifle comes in handy with the earlier parts of the next mission,
Good.
so I can shoot things from distance.
I can't take the sword. Gonna be the
And here I'm mumbling about what to carry, or at least weighing other options other than the Stalker Rifle, but
Alright, so
that's
this is
at least
done,
the
and
choice
I'll
I
finish
make
stream
for
once
what,
this finishes.
or at least the
Start
gameplay
your
and the
stream
method
with
and
the
actions that
mission.
I'm doing. So Stalker Rifle BR.
Multiple
gonna
planets
get,
craft
like,
are converging on your
power
location.
and something.
They're coming for you.
I don't think I'm gonna see
All right, gonna have next mission will be Outpost Tremonius,
I thought I was on my...
and I'll have my commentary ready for that one.